What are you doing here? Well, I guess I have to do a video for you then.
No!
So, let's start this one out extra special. It's Andrea and Noah's wedding day. So, obviously it's not today, this is pre-recorded, but this video should go out on their day. You probably remember Andrea. She has blue hair. Should be putting a picture there. I think it's pink now. Picture over there. Her and her fiance have been together for, I don't know, like what, a million years? So, woo! So Andrea put in a, what am I doing with these? Andrea put in a challenge for me, and it was the most difficult project of my life. The plans on it stayed the same, but like the small bits kept changing all the time.
That's what she said.
And I'm just gonna say, if you want to steal the show at a wedding, you know, this is how you do it. Take all of it away from the bride. All the attention. Take all of the attention away from the bride. Because I made this. I'm gonna insert a picture there, so hopefully I catch that in the editing. It doesn't look like much. It looks like a wooden log, but it's so much more than that. You see, this took me roughly 3 weeks. It actually got in the way of me editing videos. Even though I was able to push out quite a bit, it made me very tired because I didn't have the right tool. And essentially, I needed to hollow out the stump. I bought a couple small, cheap tools to try and make it easier on myself, but it was not fun, to say the least bit. And I will never hollow out a stump without a bandsaw again. It just is very difficult. So, Andrea, Noah, I hope you enjoy it. And this is a little compilation. I filmed various parts of it, and I'm putting it in order, but I did it all from my cell phone, so it's very shaky. Obviously they've already seen it because I'm hoping that I take it over there today or tomorrow and give it to them. And it's not perfect, but it's essentially a card holder. So like the guests come in and they drop their cards in there, and you're probably wondering, why do you want the stump? It's Friday the 13th. Their theme is really cool. It's movies, and you know, Friday the 13th is a movie, and it's going to be on there. It's going to look cool. They have an excellent idea. She gave it to me, and I said, let me see if I can do this. I'm not promising anything. And right up until the point that it was done, we're going to go ahead and start your feature presentation here. This intro ran really long, so I'm going to probably cut a lot out. We're going to go ahead and take off a layer about this thick, about that thick, and we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to drill through and see how we can do with that. Hopefully I don't mess this up too much. You can see we got the bow saw going. Real simple, easy, just slide it right through. I'm going to put the camera down so I can do this easier. Alright, you see I sawed the top piece off. It's a little crooked, but it'll fit back on. That's all that really matters. We're going to sand that down, and we're going to hollow this part out. So, alright guys, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drill through this. That should get me all the way to the bottom. You can see it goes there. I'm going to drill in a couple holes, and the idea is to saw around those holes. But I'm going to start in the middle, work from there. Alright guys, you can see I had the hole all the way through the center. A lot tougher than I thought, and I gotta be very careful with these edges here. Alright, well, I ran into a little bit of a problem. The drill overheated, so battery's on a temp delay as it charges up, which means it's too hot. So looks like I'm gonna have to pull that out. I'm gonna try burning it. See if that works.
Large pieces of wood that you have sticking off the sides, that's what's gonna catch the fire on the side.
Okay, I'll move those. Whoa! Right
There's
through the
some more
top.
lighter fluid. That's lighter fluid at this point that it's soaked into the wood, but it's helping.
Oh, that'll work.
Still shot a flame up through the middle.
Yeah.
Alright, you can see after about 3 hours of us burning this, I gave up. The hole wasn't that big. I started drilling again. My drill can't handle this, so it sucks. But I did get my Sawzall in there and start cutting. And it's cutting pretty good, but it's not a sharp enough blade or long enough. I did sand off the sides a little bit, so you can see at the top there, it's a little sanded versus the bottom where it's not. So it's still salvageable even with all the charred bits. A little disappointing that that didn't work, but it only widened the hole by like maybe a centimeter after 3 hours. It's not practical. So I was gonna put the bow saw through, but the hole is not big enough for the bow saw, and that's just gonna be a lot of work to get through. If I can at least get it started, I can really get like a chisel and a hammer in there, and that might be easier. So I'm gonna see if I can get a bigger blade. Alright guys, got a little bit further into this. You can see it's coming along. I used the saw to cut a big hole into it, the Sawzall. I got a nice 12-inch blade, I think it is, and it gets almost to the bottom, but obviously I can't cut straight through because of the curve, so I'm cutting on an angle. The saw started to overheat, so I'm letting that cool down. I'm using a screwdriver and a hammer. This is a broken screwdriver, so to carve this out. The hole was here, so I've gotten pretty far. I'm thinking maybe cutting this open and then burning the inside there. I think that might help it, at the very least dry it out. But you can see didn't burn too much. Should still be good. I'll probably cut off a little bit on the bottom just to give it a smoother finish, but that's where I'm at right now. Alright, so I drilled a couple more holes in, cut between them. It's really difficult to get in there and break this apart. The Sawzall is just an inch too short to actually cut all the way through, and then there's the problem with the putting pressure on that the top of the blade when it's in there, so you have to kind of cut through both sides. It's a little difficult. I burned it a little bit more on the inside, took a little bit off, but not enough. That's kind of where we're at right now. Alright guys, so I got my Sawzall out. The bow saw is not working too well for this. Just doesn't get around the edges very much. But I got the Sawzall out, and you can see we've gone all the way through, so that seems to be the ticket. I'm gonna see if I can slice off some more bits. Alright, we got a little bit more done. Nice little chunk taken out of there, about a quarter dug out, and then it's all about smoothing it out and making it work. Alright guys, I got it pretty well done, but you can see I had an accident. Ooh. Broke right off. So that's stuck in there. I have to see if I can pry it out, change out the blade. Hopefully one will last longer. Alright guys, I went ahead and sanded it off camera. You can see it's still got some burn marks on it. I rinsed it off because there was a lot of dirt and charcoal all over it. But you can see the inside is pretty hollowed out, and I gotta say that is 9 inches or so. So it should be good enough for a card, but I'm still gonna keep chiseling away at the inside. I got 2 weeks to do this, so hopefully I can pry off some of it, put the lid on, and we should be good to go. Alright guys, you can see this is pretty well cleaned off. The inside just needs light sanding. You might be able to see some grooves in there. What I did was I actually got this wire brush here and attached it onto a drill. Really helped with cleaning it up. Now I can take the sander in there and clean it up a little bit more. but there's a lot of splinter pieces in there that need to be taken care of, so want to get that done. But that should be big enough for cards. Alright guys, you can see it's pretty good. I went through and sprayed it off to rinse off any of the sawdust. There's still a little bit on there, but you can see it's pretty hard to get out. And then I also sprayed it with home defense to keep anything from going in there and trying to live, but also to kill anything that might be in there. Then it's simply just seal her up. That's about as smooth as I'm going to be able to get it with sander and tools that I got. But I don't think there's going to be any chance of a splinter coming in there, so we should be alright. Especially once the polyurethane's on, we'll be fine. Gonna go ahead and stain this, give it a little bit more color, because it looks a lot like dry wood or driftwood that's just been dried out. So I got antique walnut, and this should give it a nice brown. It's gonna give it some gloss, really get in there and make it look a little fresher, and it's gonna seal it up, keeping any bugs or anything from deciding it wants a home in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and get back to you. Got this stained, cutting a hole in the top. I broke off this piece, you can see with the white line there, so it's glued back together with caulk for now. I gotta go get some more, but I figured I'd give this caulk a chance to dry in there and then get the actual stuff. So this sucks. Anyways, that's where we're at. So we have the stump all done. You can see on the inside here, sorry for the bad camera angle, I'm doing this with my phone. I put the little bumpers here. These brackets are holding this piece together because it did break off. I did glue it, but I don't trust it enough. And it's pretty well hidden because it's on the bottom, so who cares how it looks, you know? It looks like crap. You can see all the glue. So you have that. It goes on. It's not perfectly lined up because I did sand down the bottom quite a bit more, so it did mess up the alignment a little bit. Actually, up front it is more perfect. So there's a little spot here that's carved out, and that is kind of throw your hand in and lift up. I'm gonna go with that was completely on purpose. You can see this is super shiny, you know, it's just great. There's inside a mesh. I decided not to go felt because I thought the felt could really give out over some weight. So I'm gonna flip it over, and now you can see I did screw it in. I actually used some screws that I had left over, so they're white, so they stick out a lot, but you're not gonna see the bottom. And then I got some foot pads to put under it, and this will give it a little bit more stability. This thing is done. Alright, so that is how you steal the show and prove that you are the best friend in the world, and no one can take that title. Not you, Annie, not you, Zoe, not Stephanie, not anyone. I am the best. I don't have an outro for this one. That would have been perfect though. So I guess all that's left to say is, do you like me yet?